Hi guys, shooting full of holes here. Today doing a review about the Hatsan Model 95 22 caliber with a Vortex gas piston. Now some people say that, well, they call it a gas piston, but then some people say it just has compressed air. I don't care what kind of gas it has in there, as long as it functions. Some people use nitrogen in their gas pistons, I don't know, whatever. I don't really care, okay? As long as it functions. Now, yeah, I do care, if the results are completely different. But, in this world today, you have to keep certain standards. So they're not going to produce a gas piston that is substandard. Now, yeah, I'm not saying it can't happen. Some manufacturers throw a product out there, it doesn't work, and you got to recall it, or everybody just doesn't buy it, etc. But, so technically this is a gas piston. Now, the Model 95 has always had very good reviews, very good raves. It is a staple of Hatsan. I don't think they could ever really get rid of their Model 95. It is just such a good value for money. I just got this a couple of days ago, and I am so stoked I got this air rifle. When I started shooting air guns, I was approximately 8 years old. I can't remember because there's a fuzzy part in my childhood there where I had quite a few air rifles, so I can't remember exactly what started what when. But I remember my first air rifle, but I don't remember too many after that because I actually went through quite a few. My first air rifle was a BSA. I couldn't remember exactly what model, but I knew it was a 177, and it was an old air gun that somebody had given my father. It was so bad that the front barrel was bent up from when they broke it and they slammed it up, so it was actually bent up like this. And that's how I shot it for about a year, until my dad actually found another air rifle just like it that was in worse shape, really beat up. I mean, the stock was broken. I mean, literally didn't have a stock, was gone. But the barrel was in good shape, so we took off the barrel and put it on my air rifle. And then eventually I had an air rifle that actually I could aim and shoot. Back in the day when I was a kid, if you had a 177 air rifle, okay, man, you were awesome. But if you had a 22 caliber air rifle, your dad loved you and actually absolutely trusted you way too much, Obviously, we've all had 22 long rifle, pump action, semi-automatic, and my dad would, that was always kept in the safe type thing. That was out of bounds. I didn't shoot that thing unless I was with Dad. It was just that simple. But the air rifle, I was allowed to take that out. But I only grew up with a 177. My dad, later on in life, got an RWS, the Model 48, the side lever, and the 22 caliber, shoots at 800 feet per second. And I had my wimpy 177. My God, did that RWS, it seemed like it was a cannon, The thing could just reach out and touch stuff. And that's what I always wanted. I wanted one of those. And I did eventually buy one of those and went through all sorts of air rifles. But back to the Hatsan, okay? When it comes to well-made traditional air rifles, now, in my mind, apart from the RWS, because in my mind the RWS is definitely one of those staple, it's made its mark. It's always been there, The Hatsan is becoming, a rifle that I can really put up in that category. The Hatsan Model 95 really is a very good deal for the money. Actual Turkish walnut, okay, that is such a beautiful wood, right? I remember when guns were made out of walnut. They don't make them like that anymore, Just guns in general, never mind an air rifle. Just the stock alone is, worth the money to me. It's beautiful. You're getting actual checkering. You get an actual rubber butt plate. Okay. The steel, very well blued, very well made. Everything fit and finish was perfect right out of the box. Didn't have any issues with it. I put the scope and the rings together. Now some people complain about the scope, but honestly you have nothing to complain about. It is an entry-level scope. It is not, you know, the best scope on earth or any of that stuff. And that's the way it should be. You know, you're paying for the gun. You're not really so much... But I think the scope is an added bonus at this price range. It's just that simple, you know? And when I was a kid, man, I didn't even have a scope, you know? Most of the kids that I knew didn't even, you know, if you had a scope in yours, you were the man. And back then it was any scope, anything with a set of crosshairs. The 3 to 9 by 32 has been around forever. It's it's a staple when it comes to deer hunting rifles and stuff like that, and also when it comes to air rifles. So it is an entry-level scope now. But back in the day, if you had a scope like that, jeez, that you could zoom into something, that was awesome. So, you know, a lot of people will talk trash about the scope, and yeah, it's not the best scope by today's standards, but you know what? It's really not a bad value for the money. You just have to learn how to use them. It's just, now you have mil dot, you've got, you know, illuminated reticles, and yeah, that's a whole different world, you know. But you still, you know, for the money, you're getting a scope. You just have to learn how to use it. So anyway, very, very nice. I am so stoked at, you know, this rifle. It's probably not the quietest rifle. This isn't exactly a shroud. It might, there's a little bit of a pocket there that'll take some of the noise away, but minimal. I'd definitely say it's a medium to loud. You know, back in the day, you know, and some of the RWS models also, they don't have this, you know. This is kind of a newer thing that in the past 10, 15 years have started to add to air rifles. So, but the Quattro trigger, that is a Hatsan staple almost through their PCP lines and the high-end guns. Absolute awesome trigger. Very well developed, very well made. Safety, very, very happy with it. Very happy with the dovetail stop here on the base. Stops the rings from moving back. Back in the day, you didn't have stuff like that on a spring gun. So absolutely very good value for money. If there is probably, I mean, there aren't really air rifles that can compare to the Model 95. If you're looking for a solid air rifle that definitely is bang for buck, the Model 95 is definitely it. And there's plenty of reviews and videos out there. I'm making this video because I am so happy with the quality, and you know, I've read about these and I've seen them. I've never shot them, you know, until now. I've always wanted one, so I'm just so happy I got it now, and I've waited this long because you know, now it's really gratifying to hold one and actually shoot it. So I don't clean my barrels when I get rifles out of the box, because I'm interested in shooting it and seeing what kind of accuracy you get right out of the box, because 95% of people are not going to sit there and clean their air rifle before they test it or shoot it. I mean, this is personally my air rifle for sure. It's not just a test rifle. I'm going to test it, but so but very nice. It's got true glow sights. So very, very, very good bang for buck, people. I am absolutely floored by what Hatsan has put out with the Model 95. And it's got very reasonable power. I mean, this shoots at 800 feet per second. Remember, I just told you my dad's Diana, RWS, Model 48 was shooting at 800 feet per second 22 caliber. So, you know, you've got apples to apples now, you know. Now here's a quick target I shot, 5-shot group. The Gamo match, they do. That's the one I started. That's the one I sighted the rifle with, and I'm shooting it just at 10 yards, literally just sitting down in a chair with my knees up, elbows on the knees, and just shooting like that. So I'm not shooting off a bench, I'm not shooting free-handed. I am semi-supported, and it is just 10 yards, but it is also, you know, the first couple of rounds that I'm putting through the air rifle, but you can tell that it is, you know, it wants to group. It just, you know, needs time, needs to sooner or later get the barrel cleaned and find the right pellets. But I'll show you, you know, it's really getting there. So, and, you know, just had it for 2 days, you know. So, Gamma Match, those are the JSB Jumbo Heavies. I really, really like those. I definitely consider that a flyer. Could be me, could be the pellet. I don't know, but I really like that. You can see where it's dropped, you know, because of the weight. So it's already showing me that the air rifle is very conscious, or how to put it, you put a heavy pellet, it drops. So it's acting correctly, you know. It's not shooting wildly all over the place. These are Beeman Silver Bears. I'll show you the back so you can see the holes. And, you know, also within a decent group. These are the RWS Super Points. Kind of all over the place. Super Points don't always, you know, they're okay in some air rifles and suck in others. Barracuda Power, those are kind of new. And I'm pretty impressed by what they've done there. Very nice grouping, so that's probably in the future. Predator Polymag, very nice crisp holes, kind of general area, but they are a little bit scattered. So maybe with some time they'll tighten up and group better. But it's all about finding the right pellets, and sometimes you can find the right pellet right now, and it'll be great for the next thousand shots. And then, you know, the gun starts breaking in big time and things start changing, and then that pellet isn't as great anymore and you have to find another pellet. It's just the way things go. So, but very, very, very impressed, very, very happy with the Model 95. If you are a beginner and you're looking for a solid air rifle, I would say an adult air rifle, this, you know, it takes some effort to cock this and load it. So definitely, if you're a teenager, and I would say above 15 years old, and, you know, an adult that's looking for a solid air rifle, Model 95 is definitely the way to go. It's a gas piston, so, you know, a lot of a lot of benefits to that. Smoother shooting, smoother cocking, less vibration. And you can, you know, keep it cocked for longer periods of time. At least I have never felt guilty for leaving it cocked, you know. And even back then when I had spring guns, I never felt guilty about leaving them cocked, because, you know what, that's the name of the game. You can't exactly load when you're ready to, you know, when squirrel's there, squirrel will take off, see you loading, you know, breaking the barrel. So it's just the way it is. But, you know, that technology's definitely been developed for hunters, and I would say, if I was you, take full advantage of it. So definitely, Model 95 is one for the safe. This is definitely a keeper. Trigger, like I said, best trigger that I've seen, you know. Very, very effective, very, very, very nice air rifle. There's plenty of other reviews, plenty of, you know, more than enough proof that this is a good air rifle. This is just me, you know, my take on it. But I would like to compare it to the Ruger Yukon, and I have the Ruger Yukon here. The one thing I did is I took off the sights and chopped it off because just a pain. But I would like to show you the difference between a well-made air rifle and why I consider the Ruger Yukon to be such a horrible mistake. It looks nice, it's got checkering, etc., blah blah blah. The only thing they did right was actually the base and the scope rings. Very well made, very decent. But the trigger group in the Ruger Yukon is such a nasty trigger. It's designed poorly. I've taken this thing apart. Thing falls apart. Pins fall out, okay? Just a piece of junk, in my opinion. The other thing is that the actual rod the linkage that goes to the actual spring piston to cock it. The way it's made, it rides on a rail in the stock. So, and it's in two pieces. There's just too many moving parts in this air rifle. The safety works in reverse. It's just stupid, completely stupid. They've overthought this rifle. That's the problem, is they couldn't keep it simple. Now, it might be a little quieter, but then again, it doesn't produce the feet per second that the Hatsan does. The Hatsan definitely, easily smokes it with another 100 feet per second. So, just a waste of time. Accuracy. If you watched my review on the Ruger Yukon, that thing is all over the place. It's just nothing I could call accurate. I still can't. At 10 yards you could hit a can, and that's about it. If you're lucky. But very, very disappointed with the Ruger Yukon. I can't. I feel sorry for Ruger that they put their name on this thing, because I really, honestly would not have put this product out there. So that's my personal opinion, and you can crucify me or whatever. I really don't care. That's just the way things are, Now, one of the things that I was looking at also is the actual brake. If you look at the angle of that, it's at a weird angle, okay? Which, first of all, doesn't let you load the pellet flush. Basically, the bottom of the pellet is still sticking out a bit more, which makes no sense to me. The other thing is, if you look at the actual seal, right there, you can actually, the seal doesn't stick out, like most air rifles. You can see the seal stick out above the breech, so it seals properly. So that's another thing. It's like, man, I don't feel comfortable with this thing that it's sealing properly. Whereas if you grab the Model 95, everything changes on this one. So first of all, it's square, so that's nice. You can really set your pellet flush. Now, I don't know if I can do the justice there on camera, but the seal actually sticks out, I don't know, a couple of thousandths out past the breech. So you can actually, in your mind, you can tell that rubber's making contact, the rubber seal. So, very, very big difference. So value for money, definitely the Model 95. What an air rifle. Very, very happy, very stoked with it. Okay, everybody, thank you for watching my video. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thousands of reviews out there, and I'm not trying to up anybody or anything. This is just my take on it. So I hope that the new year has found you well and in good health. I hope that the coming year will inspire you to pick up an air rifle or try new things in the hunting industry, and maybe write your own reviews and tell us how it went for you, your experiences, things like that. But most of all, I really wish you happiness, and I absolutely wish that sooner or later you pick up one of these marvelous air rifles, go out in the woods, put up a target, and shoot it full of holes.